Hi guys, and welcome to another video on this channel. Today we are going to round 7 of season 1 of our My Team career mode, and unfortunately the recording failed, so I won't be able to show you the R&D progress we made or the qualifying before the race. And for the race itself we only will have the replay cameras, and to be honest there wasn't really much that happened around Canada, so I decided to put the next race around Austria in this video as well, so have fun with what I can show you. And for the Austrian GP the recording worked, just the Canadian GP it somehow failed. I don't know what happened, but all I can say, the recording didn't really work and I had no footage after the race. I was kind of hot to see it, but yeah, I'll have to work with what I got. And you already could see 2 overtakes for me and me getting overtaken by Hulkenberg. And then on lap 22 I spun the car, managed to keep it out of the wall, but while trying to get back on the track I actually damaged my front wing, so we went into the pits at the end of the lap to change tires and the front wing. But yeah, it didn't really went that good, the race, so yeah, it was a tough one again, like the races before. We couldn't really set a good result this season so far, so yeah, it's a tough season so far. And now we're in P20 again, and we actually go wide into the second last chicane, and De Vries overtakes us, so now we're in P21. Only one in behind us is Paris, because he DNF'd again. He has really many DNFs this season. I think it's 3 out of the first 7 races, so not that good season for him either, but in the races that he finishes he gets more points than us. Would be kinda sad for him if he didn't. I mean, he's in a Red Bull, which is the fastest car, so yeah. And in the end we lost the fight to the Vries, and he gets us by 7 seconds. And then Ocon overtook us as well after he failed in lap 40. So yeah, the race is not going well. And then on lap 51 we go into the pits for our second stop with 26 seconds gap to the car in front. But now we're going on the soft tire, so maybe we will catch up to some of them, because I think Fittipaldi has one more pit stop to do, and yeah, I was right. And then on to lap 68 we go. We make a dive down into turn 1 and overtake our teammate, but then after turn 4 and 5 we start to go really slow, because I underfueled the car at the start and apparently it wasn't enough fuel, so we ran out of fuel with more than 1 lap to go. and when we crossed the line we actually got disqualified. So on to the next one we go. It's now round 8 around Austria, and it's a sprint weekend, and I'm relatively quick around Austria, so maybe we can get some points, or at least get close to the points. But we will see what the race weekend will bring us, as we're looking for some upgrades, and we did a minor tire wear upgrade which will come in for Silverstone, and a minor drag reduction upgrade which will also come in for Silverstone. So for this race I don't think there are any upgrades, and now we don't have enough R&D points for more upgrades. In the performance chart we are P9, but we're really close to Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri behind. So yeah, we will see what will happen, as we're now looking at the standings, and our team and Haas are the only ones who have 0 points in the Constructors' Championship, but Haas has a much better car, so I think the probability that they can score points is much higher than the probability that we can score points. And also, I don't know if you saw it, but they had a P12 finish in the last race, versus we had, I think, P20 and disqualified. So yeah, Haas is just much quicker than us at this point. But we will look what will happen. And there's rain for qualifying on this weekend, so not good for us, but we will see what we can do.
And we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap, or that's qualifying.
We go straight into qualifying, and in Q1 it's dry, and we are on our second lap in Q1, and we gained 2 tenths through the first turn alone, but we also did go really slow through that. But still, purple first sector, got the rotation good in turn 3, turned the DRS on very late, so we probably lost a little bit of time because of that. And then Norris, who is on an outlap, gets in our way, and that made us probably lose time too. But we are still going purple through the second sector, although Norris just turned in on us and was really much in the way.
Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
But because we lost some time in turn 1 and in turn 4, I decided to go for another lap because I had enough fuel. I don't know if I will have enough battery for the end of the second lap, but we will see. And through turn 1 we go actually slower than on the first run, and we lost almost a tenth. And then into turn 3 we gain massively, but then on the exit we lose more than a tenth again, so the massive gain on the entry wasn't really worth much. And then the Alfa Tauri impedes us, but he's on a lap as well, but we're just quicker than him, and it's annoying that we didn't have more space. But we still go purple through the second sector, and we are 4 tenths up on Russell's time. So if we get the last 2 corners right, we should be through to Q2. And then with half a tenth gain, we end up in P6. So we actually improved 1 place by doing the other lap, and we were 2,000 ahead of Russell, which is kind of meaningless in Q1, but it's maybe for the confidence a little bit better. And then in Q2 you can see it's really much raining, but we still go out on the soft tires because they're a bit quicker right now, and we have Russell right behind us, so I hope he won't try to overtake us and ruin both our laps, because that would just not be good, especially if it keeps raining and the track gets wetter and wetter, and we wouldn't be able to improve. I really wouldn't like being knocked out in Q1 because some stupid AI decided to overtake us on our quali run, and then in turn 4 we lost the back of the car a little bit because it's just really hard to control the car when it's raining like this. And to turn 6 is it, I guess, we lost the back of the car again, but Russell doesn't do any stupid overtake, so we can finish our lap. And actually now he into turn 9 he tries to overtake us, but he's not fully going alongside, which would be just stupid. And now we're set at 17.0 and we have 2 seconds of Tsunoda, and that puts us in P15 at the end. But at the end of Q2 it's completely dry again, and again we have a Mercedes right behind us. I think this time it's Hamilton, and I hope he just doesn't do anything stupid. And through the first corner we gain more than 1 second. You can see the difference between the track when it was wet but still on slick. Between now and then it's just massive. So I actually thought about not going out again, but then I saw the other ones were going out on soft, so I definitely had to put in a lap, and as you can see it's completely dry now, so it was definitely a good decision to go out, otherwise we would be knocked out in P16. And now we go perfect through the middle sector with 6.5 seconds gain, and through the last 2 turns we go wide in turn 9 but don't get the lap invalidated, and then I go really cautious around turn 10 and we get a good lap in, and it's actually enough for P4, so we're through to Q3. And Lewis Hamilton actually is knocked out in P14, which is a bit of a surprise. And then when we went to Q3, you can see it's completely wet again. We are on intermediate, and I decided to fuel up the car for a few more laps because I just feel more comfortable when I can just find the limit slowly. As you can see, I just went out in turn 10. So yeah, I definitely need to find the limit, as I was much too cautious in turn 1 there. But it's not really easy to find the limit in the wet for me. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but for me it's just I need a few laps to get used to the wet track and get used to the grip levels. So I filled up the car for actually only 3 laps, so not much more fuel than on the dry running, but the lap is very short, so I will take another set of intermediates after this and go out again. And we're down 8 tenths to Gasly's time, So yeah, not a good lap so far. And we almost spun it again in the last corner. Just, I can't really get right in the red from the start on. And then into turn 1, we actually go wide, but we still, you know, we didn't gain. We actually lose 2.5 tenths. But then into turn 3 we go. Under braking we lose 2 more tenths. And on the exit it doesn't really get better. So I'm not really hoping that I still can improve.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
But through the middle sector, into turn 6, we gain all the time we lost back, and then through turn 7 and 8, we gain another 4 tenths. So if we get the last 2 corners right, we will gain massively, and we actually gain another second through the last 2 turns. And then at the end of Q3 it's raining much more, so yeah, there's not really a chance to improve, I think. And I'm the only one on track as well, so yeah, it's not going good. We actually only lost a tenth through turn 1, but there's no chance we can improve on that. So we will have to start with GT and P10, which is not good, but I mean, it is good for our car, but it could be better after we came through in P4. But yeah, that's pretty much qualifying over for us. So let's go to the race.
Ourselves once again of our top 3: Russell, Verstappen and Carlos. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, the owner driver, Hulkenberg, Albon, Bottas, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Perez, Stroll, Magnussen, Joe, De Vries, Sargent, Enzo Fittipaldi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
And to the grid of the sprint we go. We decide to go on the medium tire because it's the faster one and it should go the distance. So yeah, Albon behind us is actually on softs. I don't think softs will make it to the end, but
Okay, how was that pull
we
away?
will see.
We'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but
And
we need to warm
hopefully
the
we can move forward to get some points in this race. Maybe get a good start and defend from there. So yeah. we get the parking actually
Superb
very
parking
good
there, mate.
with
Let's make sure we get
0.1,
the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
and then
Keep
we
an eye on the
wait
lights.
for
The
the
start
last car
sequence will
to
begin as soon as the
park
grid is
car,
formed.
and then the lights go on, and 5 white lights, and it's go time, and we get a good start. We overtake the R3 and both Alpines into the first corner. Actually, we were ahead of both Alpines, but Ocon went around our outside and Gasly got the better traction. So into turn 3, we're gonna make a dive bomb on Gasly, and we'll try to get Ocon as well.
Alright,
But we actually lost 2 seconds by the time we get to lap 10. And then Hamilton behind us will try to overtake us. He went out because in Q2 because of the weather, and now he's in the much bigger car, and he will just
dropping a
fly
second lap
past
to the
us.
car behind. 1 second.
So now we're gonna try to stay with him to overtake the cars ahead. And then on lap 12 to turn 1, Ocon gets a really bad run, and we try to use that to overtake him, and we go down the inside into turn 3. We don't squeeze him out at the exit, and now we're going side by side down to turn 4, but we're much faster in the straight line and get ahead way before the braking zone. So now we're in P7. That would give us 2 points for the Constructors' Championship. And then on to lap 13. They go 3 wide to turn 1. And they get a really slow exit. And we actually, Ocon tries to go around our outside, but we can defend from that. And then down to turn 4, we try to get close to the cars we have Verstappen. Actually braked a little bit too early and we went down his inside, and now we're in P6. And then on lap 24 we got 5 second gap to Hamilton ahead, but we're still ahead of Verstappen, and Verstappen tries to go down our inside into turn 3. He overtakes us, but then we have the DRS for the next straight, and Verstappen doesn't have any DRS because the gap ahead was so big, and we went on the grass and went around the outside of him in turn 4. He can't keep it side by side, so we'll overtake him again to stay in P6. And now both Red Bulls are behind us, so it's gonna be a hard fight for the last 4 laps, because I think it's the quickest car on the grid, and Verstappen is also the quickest driver, so we will have a good fight as we get a track limit warning at the exit of turn 9, and we are out of battery as well, so we have to hope that the cars behind us fight so we can build a gap, but at the moment it doesn't look like it, and Verstappen with the DRS is gaining on us again, and we send him round the outside so we can squeeze him out and make him stay behind us. And after we squeeze him out, he actually didn't get a good exit, and we gained a few tenths, but on lap 23 it's the same thing again. But actually Paris is ahead of Verstappen now, so Paris gains on us with the DRS, tries to go around the outside, and we squeeze him out, and because of that he gets a bad exit out of turn 2, but Verstappen is actually unable to overtake him. And now into the last lap we go. Paris tries to make a move around the outside of turn 1, and that actually gives us the DRS and we stay side by side with him. But he was a little bit ahead at the detection point, so we got the DRS, and now he's still getting back at us with more straight line speed, goes down to the inside, but we can keep it around the outside, and Paris is actually losing time, so I think this is pretty much the last overtaking opportunity, but he doesn't take it because he's way too far away from us, so we should be safe if we don't make a mistake through the last sector. It should be P6 in the sprint, and actually 3 points, our first points with this team, and it's gonna be P6 where we start tomorrow's race, but only if we don't make a mistake in the last 2 turns and we get turn 9 correctly. And we had a little moment of oversteer through the last turn actually, but we can keep it ahead of Verstappen and Perez. So we're gonna start the race in P6 and we will look where we can get from there.
This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Norris, Hamilton, the owner driver, Perez, Verstappen, Ocon, Albon, Bottas, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Joe, Sargent, Hulkenberg, De Vries, Fittipaldi, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
And as you could see there, we are starting in P6. Our teammate is actually starting in P21, so we are way ahead of him. And I don't know what the strategy screen is doing there, but it's a 34 lap stint on softs. I don't think it would be such a good idea. So yeah, we will probably do 2 relatively even stints on the softs and then a slightly longer one on the mediums. And that will be our strategy to go. And again, we take out the fuel, but actually we overfuel the car by 1 lap after the experience at the Canadian GP where we ran out of fuel. I don't want to do that again, because that was just shitty, and I don't want to do that again. So yeah, we get the parking.
Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts.
Here.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient.
We'll try to get a good launch of the 5 red lights. And maybe we can overtake Hamilton Our reaction was quite slow, but then in the second phase we actually can overtake Hamilton and we can overtake Lando Norris. At least we can almost overtake him. And we're in P5 now and into turn 3. I don't know, the AI just braked super early there. And so we go down the inside of Lando Norris and now we're in P4
by 10.0 seconds.
and then on lap 4 around in turn 1 we almost in the car and I think we hit Norris and then Hamilton could overtake both of us, but like I said, into turn 3 they braked super early so we could go down the inside again, but Hamilton keeps it on the outside and we tried to make a move again into turn 4 and this time Hamilton can't keep it on the outside, although we left him space
overtake button a bit more.
and we're back in P4 again and maybe we can stay there for the rest of the race, but we already lost 3.5 seconds to Alonso ahead, so I don't know if we will be able to keep the other cars, which are probably just as fast as Alonso, or even quicker, if we can keep them behind. And then Hamilton goes down our inside, and that's pretty much the answer. We can't keep them behind. And we get a warning because Hamilton pushed us a little bit wide, and then we lost 4 positions in one corner because Hamilton pushed us wide and then both Red Bulls and Norris went ahead of us, and now we have 3.4 seconds gap to the car behind. So just like in Spain, we are in a point position with much space behind, and we actually make a dive bomb on Lando Norris into turn 4. It was, I don't know, I think it was a little bit too hard and too hard racing, but yeah, I mean we were quite far back. And then on the lap 7, Verstappen ahead of us is actually quite slow. I think he has some kind of problem. I don't have another explanation on why he would be so slow. And we have a purple first sector while we're overtaking Max. And then on the next lap we just outbrake ourselves into turn 3 and Verstappen gets ahead again and Lando Norris flies past us as well. But he's not so far ahead as last time, so we can make the dive down the inside, and it's not hard racing at all. It's just a fair move. He left us space, we left him space. So yeah, and then on to lap 11, Verstappen is still somehow really slow. I mean, he lost 5 seconds to Hamilton ahead. It must be a mechanical problem. Otherwise, he definitely wouldn't be that slow. So we make a move around the outside in turn 3 again. We make really many moves in turn 3 or 4. I think all of our moves are in those 2 corners. But then a few laps later, I think Verstappen he still got sold. And he tries to go around the outside of us, but he can't really go around us. So we're on the inside. Did manage to keep him behind. And then create a little bit of a gap, so we are safe into turn 4 as well. But we can't really pull away from him. which is
Okay, so the car
not
ahead's
that
come in
good,
and fixed the soft tyre.
because he eventually will overtake us in this race. If we could make him fight with Norris, we could maybe build a gap, but then through turn 9, Verstappen overtakes us, and now he's already 8 tenths ahead. And then after some pit stops,
Okay, gap
we are
ahead
in
is
P4
8.4
again,
seconds.
at least on the road, but it's of course not net P4, so yeah. And then we go wide in turn 9, and then at the exit of turn 10, Hamilton hits us. Yeah. Things like that happened, and we had front wing and underbody damage from that, and then into the pit
Okay,
lane.
listen, don't worry
we
about it,
spin
mate.
the
It can
car,
happen to the best of us. Now look, I've
and
put a
then
new
it's our front
strategy
wing
option
even
for
more,
you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
we speed by 1 kVA and get a 5-second penalty. So yeah, the race is again not going like we planned. But we will have to try to work around that.
We had an issue removing the front wing.
And
I
then
know it's not ideal, but let's try and
9.7
put it behind
seconds
us
pit
and get back
I
into
think
this
the
race.
front
Okay,
wing
one stop
had
to go,
issues
just one
going
stop
on
left in this
or
strategy.
going off. I don't know, but a slow pit stop, and now we're in last place again, or actually second last
Okay,
place.
copy that.
But yeah, it didn't really work out the way we wanted it to work out.
We're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up.
And then on lap 29, we are behind our teammate. I think after everyone has their first stop, so it's not only P20 or now P19 on the road, it's P19 in the whole race as well. So yeah, but after some more pit stops in lap 38, we are back to P13 actually, and I had a little bit of hope that we could maybe score some points. We went down the inside of Tsunoda but outbraked ourselves, and then we made contact with the Williams of Albon while returning the track. I think in real life that would have been a penalty, but I think the game mechanics don't even have the option to give penalties for unsafe returns or things like that. So yeah, we get away with no penalty, but it was just, yeah, not a good move. And then I feared that Bottas would try to make a move down in turn 9, but he didn't, and now he got the DRS, which doesn't help him to get alongside us. So we stay ahead for now, but then after turn 1, with the longer DRS straight, Bottas goes ahead of us. But then again, he brakes so early into turn 3, and we switch back him, and now both of us have DRS, and we try to go around the outside, and we are ahead before the braking zone, but then in the corner we lose a little bit of time because we left room on the inside for him, and into turn 6 he goes around the outside of us, and I was just too slow to keep up with him. And then both McLaren, after their last stop I guess, are behind us, and we managed to keep Piastri behind for now, but I don't think we will be able to keep him behind much longer, as we actually lose the car into turn 6. but Piastri doesn't use that to get ahead of us. I think he was a little bit blocked by our car stepping out, otherwise he would have overtaken us. And then again we have a little moment of oversteer through the last corner, and now with the DRS Piastri goes down our inside. And we actually try to get back at him, but then we spin the car on the curb because we went through the corner a little bit too close at the edge, at the inside. So yeah, we lost quite a few places again, and now we're in P18 behind the half of Hülkenberg, and he managed to get us as well. And now as we wanted to go into the pits, I spun it on the inside curb of turn 9. So yeah, it's definitely not a good race for us. We had many spins, and then again we almost spun into the pit lane. Yeah, like I said, too many spins, too many mistakes. And now we at least get rid of the 5-second penalty, so it won't add up to our time at the end, but I don't know if that really helps.
Faster than we were expecting.
I mean,
Pit strategy
like this,
complete. See these
have
tyres through to the end now.
on track that we will have in the end, but yeah, not really good result. And then actually in lap 60 we left a Williams, I think it was Sargent, but I'm not sure, it could have been Alvin as well. I think it was Sargent, and he was really slow. I don't know what he did there, but he was really slow. I mean, we got left I think twice at the end, and we left him, so
You're pulling out a second a lap in the car behind.
yeah,
Really good stuff.
and normally he's ahead of us in most races, so yeah, I don't know what went on there, but we left him. And actually we did get another penalty, 3 seconds for track limit, so if we want to stay ahead of someone we need to pull a 3-second gap. And we're actually in a fight with Stroll for P17. We go around the outside of him in turn 6, and now we need to pull a gap because otherwise we will lose this P17. I mean, it's not really worth much, but it's better than P18. And in the end we managed to get a 4.7 second gap. So we stayed ahead of him and finished the race in P17 actually.
And
so
that's the end of the race. We'll
not
see
the
you in
result we
Parc
wanted
Fermé.
after starting in P6. But it's, I guess, a progress from the races so far.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. What do you think it was today, Ants, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So in the end, Charles Leclerc went on to win the race. He won the sprint and the race, and Ferrari got
Max Verstappen
actually
seemed to just effortlessly
he
weave
won
through the other
into
drivers today without a care in the world. He was
the
definitely
sprint
my
and
driver
the
of
race.
choice.
It's time to check out
And
the constructors'
I think
standings.
4
No
stops
change at the top
and
spot then,
finished
but with today's points, their hold on that lead
in
is getting weaker.
P2.
Another team that will be satisfied
I
with
mean,
this.
okay, that's really impressive. With 4 stops, I mean that's 2 more stops than everyone else around him. But yeah, we finished in P17 and 20, which will not help us for the constructors or the driver standings. Yeah, but see you guys next time. Goodbye.